Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Ferris Makes Demos. Um, I'm in a bit of a frustrating position at the moment. And long story short, long story short, our demo group Logicoma is playing, we have a live set at Demobit this weekend in Slovakia. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be awesome. Yesterday, I sat down and started preparing the project in our demo tool that we're going to use for live visuals. So essentially how that works. I'm actually going to pull up the Liveshow project. It's the same as the one I had at Revision, except I upgraded it for the latest version of the tool, which I changed the compiler at some point, so I had to do that. But essentially the idea is that it's just our demo tool. So it's the same operators and everything, except instead of just having sync nodes, there's also MIDI nodes in here. So you can see, like, we can check the last MIDI note from a given device, do that kind of stuff. So if I have a MIDI controller over here, and that allows me to select scenes, and they are slow the very first time, so I got to warm them up. But it's just a bunch of different scenes, and then in addition to that, I have mouse support, which I think is only mapped on some of these scenes. But I can click around in here, and then I have like this little XY pad that I can drag out and use that as well. So when we're actually live, I can make this preview window full screen, and then I can do this from my touch screen, and it works really well. So that's literally it. It's just the demo tool with some MIDI support, and that's how all this works. Hi, Caroline. So yeah, so what I'm working on now is basically after our demos, what I do is I upgrade this project and then I remove some extra scenes that we don't need. I also have like other effects like mirror and chromatic aberration stuff. It's all mapped to this MIDI controller that I have down here. I think I did a stream before Evoke 2017 where I showed that stuff in a little more detail. But it's the same kind of stuff. So we just map new MIDI, and I usually change the post-processing a bit. IOTA was the last demo we did, so before I had this setup, so it's mostly those scenes right now. Also, they're in lower res. I downscale a bit because this has to run on my laptop, which does not have as beefy of a GPU as I would like. It's a couple years old now. I actually want to buy a new one soon. Anyway, so this ensures that it runs fast. My laptop doesn't overheat or anything. And yeah, generally, I'm really happy with this setup. However, we have to, whenever we finish new demos, we have to migrate all the new stuff into here. And just to give you kind of an idea of what that's like, it's a huge pain in the ass. And I actually started this last night and then got some progress. And then I screwed up some stuff in Git and I lost all that work. So we're going to do all that grunt work today. But essentially this project, I know these nodes are not going to be very easy for you guys to see because they're small, but you'll still get a general idea. So there's like the main kind of frame setup and then the downscale. And then this is just like dispatch to render different scenes based on MIDI. And then if I scroll around here, we have a bunch of different, like basically the entire graph from other demos. So this is IOTA, which is called Paul Blarticles. So there's the different scenes and then the renderer, really simple render in that one. Down here, we have engage and there's just all of it here. If I scroll around more, maybe there's not that much. I think I deleted a bunch of scenes that we didn't use, so maybe there isn't that much here. Ball scene down here, so I guess this is Elysian down here. And then I'm going to add trashpanda now as well, which is what I did last night and then ended up losing. So it ends up being a really large graph, and this is kind of a pain in the ass. And when moving everything, I also have to update the names because like all the names in this grid are like there's no scoping, so it's all just global. Exactly, bad moves. Yeah, so I have to. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the trashpanda project and just start like renaming stuff. Luckily, a lot of that's textual, and all this stuff serializes to XML. So the big benefit here is that while I'm doing this, I can kind of just do textual search and replace in the project file itself. That ends up being a lot easier when we're moving stuff around this much. So I'm just going to start doing that. And you guys are just going to have to bear with me because it's super boring. And I really hoped to have not lost that effort when I did that last night, so that today I could focus on debugging. Because this is another fun thing, is when I did migrate trashpanda over into this project, that started working. But then I found out none of the lights worked in that demo, and I have no idea why that is. So it might be at the end of all this that I actually don't have like any new visuals for the live set this weekend, which is, I mean, it's okay. Maybe I can throw some new stuff together at the party. I don't know. But the hope is that I can at least get 1 or 2 scenes from trashpanda hooked up today. But we'll see. So, whoops, that was the wrong one. So I'm going to open up trashpanda again. And so basically, I'll tell you also how I lost all that work. And I'm not proud of this. But what I did is I did all the work to migrate everything over. And before I did that, I had to do all the renaming to make sure none of the names would collide. And I did that just within the trashpanda project. And then I copied all the nodes over. And then I started getting everything set up in the Liveshow project. And then I went to commit that. And I did a git add -A by habit, which added everything, including all the changes to the trashpanda project. So staged all those changes. Of course, I only wanted to stage the Liveshow changes. So I went in the trashpanda folder and I did a git reset. And I didn't realize that reset would go up the tree and reset from the repo root. And that's how I lost all those changes. So that was really annoying. And to my knowledge, there's no way to get that back because it wasn't committed. It was just staged. So that was kind of shit. So if I make the same mistake again, what I'm actually going to do is commit it. And then I'll just like delete the trashpanda folder and then copy it from an older version. And then we'll just amend the commit or something. It's not a huge deal. It just, I was really, really mad. But yeah, so we'll just do that. And then maybe we'll come up with some more stuff. But I think, so what I'm going to do, first of all, we're not going to take this scene with us. I think the 3 that I want is this triangle scene here. And then these glowy boys. And then particularly these ones. And then the kick dudes. Oh, and I want this logo scene too, because I like it. We can make that say Demobit or something too. I'll just do that now because that's fun. I think that's here actually. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like, I knew I was already cutting it close doing this so late before the party, but I also knew that I could, but then I screwed it up like that. So now I felt a little pressure after that too. But we've got time, and we're doing this, and we're also going to give a seminar on our 64K synth. I'm really hoping that we might release the synth this weekend as well. Really hoping that. We need to sit down and clean up some things, but I think it's mostly ready. However, one big problem that we still have yet to address, which I don't think we actually will before the release, is that Steinberg has phased out the VS2 SDK. For a long time, they've been shipping, or VST2 SDK. For a long time, they've been shipping it with the VST3 SDK. Just they keep moving around where it was in the directory tree. But you could still like just take the VST3 SDK and use the VST2 parts from that, and that works fine. But no longer, I think they don't do that anymore, and they've been issuing a bunch of like cease and desist to people who are distributing the VST2 SDK. They really want to get rid of this thing, which is really annoying because the VST3 SDK is a lot different, and porting it over should be simple enough, but I sure as hell haven't wanted to do all that work for nothing, and especially because at least the version of Ableton I'm on, I don't think it supports VST3 even. So it's really annoying. And I don't really know how to solve that. Like if the synth were Rust, then I would obviously just grab the Rust VST2 framework. Maybe that's still the best choice. I really don't know. So we got to come up with something for that, but I think I want to release the synth without doing that anyway, because if someone can get a hold of a VST3 SDK, then they can build everything anyway. And we have like a Wavesaber Slack and everything too, where we're distributing at least pre-built plugs to a lot of musicians, and that at least gets them off the ground. And then the developers who want to use that in intros will need to actually don't need the VST SDK, because they don't need to build the plugins. They just need to build the actual devices. So we're kind of getting around it anyway. And I would really like to get the synth out. My ideal situation at this point is that at least I don't know if I'm going to have the bandwidth to work on a 64K for revision this year, for several reasons. But I would love to see like maybe someone else use the synth. I think that'd be really cool. And I'm totally open to giving people our new packer as well, at least to test that. I even prepared the output of it a little bit better to make it more user friendly and less debuggy. So maybe I'll try to distribute that to a select few people. If you guys are interested and you're doing a demo, hit me up. But anyway, I want to get that out. We also were we've been talking about doing a music disc for that too, and I have like a UI design for that and everything. Cass Rain, is that how you say that? Thanks for the follow. But yeah, I have a music disc like design and everything. We figured out the UI, and we also figured out most of the song list. Of course, now we have a couple more that we can add on there. But I don't think I'll be able to finish that before the release. So anyway, can you tell I'm just stalling because I don't want to do this grunt work? Anyway, let's just do this, because a few things, like scene here, we're going to call this trashpanda scene. And scene camera is going to be trashpanda scene camera. And this also tells us like where stuff is wrong. And that we just copy these then. I think the last one is in the light code actually. Oh, yo, hold up. That actually might be why the lights didn't work last time. I don't know if okay. That's great if doing this again fixes the lights. I'm really happy about that, but we'll see if it actually does. Just to be sure. Okay, all this looks wrong now, so I don't think that was the case. This is why we have actual undo in the tool. Stupid. Oh, this was the camera. That would explain that. And this was the scene. And this also is camera scene. And then down here, we only had... I really need a mini map for this. Here we just had the scene. Just that. Did I miss this somewhere? Here. Okay. Exactly, Mad Moose. So actually, I did write a converter to do most of the changes after doing the compiler changes, because then we had to upgrade all of the projects, and it was pretty mechanical what it would do. And I definitely at least want to have better support for like importing and moving around scenes with the tool, especially for also moving assets and stuff. No, I don't have any search in here. That would also be helpful, but it's not that bad, because like that's one of the few manual ones I'll do, and then the rest is like done in text. Because one of the things that we have, and I did this specifically because like, you know, every editor feature you do takes time, and this is a completely custom tool. So when you have limited time, you kind of have to really pick and choose the features you actually do. So like, for example, wait, I do want this. Yeah. There's a lot of features like search and replace that would be really nice to have in the tool, but it might be a lot of effort to do that, where I can actually just open the project file here and just do like a textual multiple search and replace, and then I can go over back to the tool and hit Control R and just reload the project. And now you can see all these, like, render pipeline is now trashpanda render pipeline with all these different passes being renamed. So it's like that feature I kind of already have just because I use a human readable format. So some of that stuff is kind of balanced. Again, it's still not ideal. Like, this isn't the feature that I want. The feature that I actually want is to be able to like copy a whole graph, right click, prefix global names with whatever, right click, move assets to subdirectory, copy, paste into the new thing. So, like, yeah, I think there's stuff like that I could definitely build that would really help, but I'm not going to build that in the next hour, so we'll just bite the bullet. And I think this will actually go faster than it did for me last night, just because I already did this once. I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to close that really quick because I want to take all of the assets and put them in a trashpanda subdirectory. This will make it easier when I copy all the assets over to the other project. And then in here, all these assets / here, we're just going to search for all those in Sublime. And I know that half my Sublime window is off the screen and my text is really small, but frankly, I need it this way. So you guys are just going to have to suffer this stream. So that should do it. And it didn't. Error loading asset for key. You know what I think I did? I think I did this wrong. I think... Yeah, I totally did this wrong. We wanted to call this assets, and then the one inside there, trashpanda. Not trashpanda, trashpanda. Okay. No, this material is not going to be in the seminar, because the seminar is just going to be about our synth. Where we're going to talk a lot about, like, the architecture, bit of a code map. I think Ian wants to demo some of it. It'll be pretty cool. And no, Mad Moose. It's not time for Git Reset. Another thing I'm going to do just while we're here, just so I can replace less, is I know I'm going to remove the scene called Infinite here. And this particularly is the scene with all the yellow and gold cubes. So we just won't use that. And that's going to give me a couple errors that I need to fix, and then we're good. So we'll get rid of that, and then I'll go in and I'll just remove the shaders for that on disk. We should be good. I'm going to reload the project just in case, because that will clear the asset cache. And if there's any paths that are wrong, this will be good. Yeah, so primarily where this is going to cause us some issues is that I use the same names for parts of the render pipeline and like a lot of the render targets that are used. And again, those are all going to be global, so we need to prefix like all that stuff. So some of that, I'm actually going to look at the grid to see what I need to do here. So normally when I'm working on this, I actually have this set up in a different window. Like right now, it doesn't really matter that we see the actual output of the tool. It just matters that I can see as much of the operator graph as possible. So I'm just going to do this, move some windows around here. Have this down here, I guess. Make this taller. Yeah, so I usually have like the scenes on the left and then the rendering pipeline on the right, more or less. Okay, so stuff like gbuffer target, we need to rename. So, okay, I think I'll do trash panda G buffer target. I think we do that and that just works. Good. And now you can see that's renamed. Light accumulation target's another one. And we got to be careful with some of these. Because like a lot of the shaders, for example, I think in... Like, I think some of these I have like passes that are named the same stuff as the shaders that go along with them, and we don't want to rename those too. I mean, I could, but it's easier if I don't. Like DOF pass, for example. So here we have the subroutine that's called that, and then the call, so I'm just going to do that. And none of the other ones associated with that, because I think maybe DOF pass is actually fine for that, but anyway. Bloom pass here. Just kind of doing one of these at a time. Composite pass. Yeah, here's one where the shader has the same name. So we want to do the call and not that one. Subroutine and the call. There we go. Post pass. So literally I'm just like going through and doing multi-select textually here and then just changing it. Masking pass is another one that I'm pretty sure the shader has the same name. So we're going to be careful there. Just change those. I think aberration pass will do that as well. And I can totally do this in the tool. Like I can click here and change this to trash panda aberration pass, and then go over here, change that too. So not that bad for some of these. Some of these have already changed, I guess, because I already had those prefixed with render pipeline, so that's nice. Light composite target, we're going to want to do that. I actually don't think... for a lot of these we actually need to rename them. Oh yeah, because here's the rendering. The render target needs that too. Actually, that's actually fine. No, this is the... Hold on. Bloom blur, for example. A bunch of passes, but I'll just want to do the targets first. I'm jumping around a lot here, not doing that terribly systematically, and that's just fine. As it doesn't really matter as long as I don't make any mistakes. As long as I just do this bit by bit, then at least we have undo in Sublime, so we can go kind of one step at a time back if we have to. Downscale pass. This bloom downscale pass thing, I hope, yeah, doesn't have any shaders. I think we're good. Blur pass. I don't think this conflicts with a lot of the shaders, so I think I renamed most of them to be... Like, they have a lot of name prefixes in the tool, but then the shaders themselves are, like, kind of under directories that take a lot of the same names. But we are going to want, like, masking targets. I want to rename that. Just probably just copy the text trash panda. That's probably gonna help. Aberration target. And I think we're gonna end up with a lot of sort of duplicated post effects too, between the different demos, and that just doesn't really matter because. Okay, so some of these composite targets we need to be careful with. Because there was the light one, and we do not want the light ones for this. I think we're going to have a bug here. Let's fix it here. Good. Tone map and gamma target we're going to want to fix. Oh, I bet, Pyro. That sounds brutal. As in, I bet that was traumatizing. Doff Susie pass. That's what I want to do. Doff Susie target. A lot of passes use that. The nice thing about all this stuff is that you kind of get in a trance after a while. And then it gets a little bit easier. But it's just boring as hell. So many passes for depth of field in Bloom. Oops. Move that stuff. Oh, too many windows. Whoops, did I just save over this? I think I did. That's okay. Downscale targets. Let's blur pass. Just eyeballing this, I think we've got most of them up here. And in here, I think we're good. We're going to do all these Bloom ones. I think we covered a lot of them already, though. Oh, not these Bloom blur steps. There's a ton of these that I just copy pasted and never cleaned up. And it does not matter. Whoops. That should be B. Looking good. In fact, I think this might be good enough now to start moving over. We'll call that good enough for now. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Just to make sure I don't make the same mistake as I did yesterday. I'm actually going to commit this. That's the wrong window. We want the Electrocoma Demos one. Look at this. Never mind. I was going to show you my mistake. I don't want to. It's just shameful. Because we should be on a branch. No, we're not. So we're going to start with that. Check out a branch. Demobit Liveshow. A lot of stuff. So this is all just the assets we renamed in trashpanda and then the demo file to update with all the names and assets. So I'm actually going to commit this because then what I can do is rewrite the history and just drop that commit. And then at least it won't be in my way. So I think that's going to be a lot better. Drop me. Okay. And just to be sure, I'm going to push this to a branch. So there's actually one more thing I want to do with this. And that is to copy the whole graph. Now I don't have a select all. I don't have select all implemented in the tool. So I'm gonna be cheeky and scroll on my scroll bars here just to make sure we get everything. And I know halfway horizontally is good enough because I actually increased the max width of the grid in order to accommodate the Liveshow project now. Okay, so now I've got all that copied. And the cool thing about how I implemented copy and paste in this tool is I actually serialized to XML, so I can just paste into a text editor like this. So these are all the nodes. In fact, I probably actually could have just copied out of the projects. I think it's exactly the same. No, because they're inside this demo thing here and it has this master position as well. So it's just the operators themselves here. But the nice thing is that then if I want to edit this or paste it somewhere else, then I can just do that. I don't remember why I did that. I think just because I had to have some kind of serialized format anyway. And then I already had the serializer for the project. So if I just refactored some code, then I could do this. But yeah, I really like that idea. So anyway, let's open up the Liveshow project. I need to open that up in Rocket first. Switching projects is not a very comfortable thing in this tool right now, mostly because of Rocket being separate. This is not really the kind of thing that it was built for. Anyway, here we can go back and look at our operators. One of the things I want to do before I actually do that is you'll notice I have these little comment things here. So I'm actually going to copy that first. I just want to make sure we're as far to the right as we need to be. Like something like this. Very top of here. Add a trashpanda comment. Then I'll copy this stuff again. Paste it there. And this is fine, except already we have some conflicts because all the demos have this like setup and profile the main frame stuff in it. But eventually this calls like the render pipeline. If we do just delete that, then I think we're okay. Looks like we are. But of course, none of these will show yet. So we got to fix that up too. But We're on our way. So the way I do the dispatch here, and this is something I did last night that I'm going to fix here. Tunnel, I think, is columns, bull articles. I think a lot of these are sorted by, yeah, the MIDI note that they use. That's fine. Render block scene. We're going to call this render kick dude scene. That'll be the first one we hook up here. And I'll hook this up here. And what is this? 51. I think 52 is the next one that's here. No, 49 actually is the next one. So let's just move this around, put it here. And this calls the wrong one here. We want trashpanda render pipeline, which should exist, but it doesn't. Did I call it rendering pipeline? No. Oh, trashpanda with... That's annoying. That I camel case that shit. That's fine that that's a little inconsistent in this project. I really don't care that much. So this was light shafts, and I like to keep these in order. It really doesn't matter that much. We'll do this. Call this subroutine here. And put that there. So this is at least being called now. And then we're going to want to do a couple things here. Normally these scenes are toggled by stuff from the sync tracker. So I'm going to toggle them by this instead. And suddenly the tool slowed way down, and I know exactly why. I'm going to... I think it's this one that I want to fix first, though. And the reason why is very simple. I forgot to copy all the assets. So just do that on disk really quick. There we go. And now we got the title screen, kind of. That's not exactly correct. But we'll make it work. Yeah, this is super wrong. I mean, at least it drew it from the right effect, or from the right, like, MIDI selector thingy. Okay, lots to do here. Particularly, there's a lot of, like, stuff we get from the sync tracker that we just want to have as default values here in this project. We'll just adjust these more later if the default values I choose right now suck. I don't usually go in and like remove all these options from the shaders because that's boring. I need to figure out why it It's so weird with dispatching scenes too. Oh, that's probably some stuff that's in the sync tracker already from other demos or something. Yeah, I think that's what it was. That's okay. We need to also like redo the camera and stuff. A lot of things we gotta do. Where's our aberration? That should be turned down. Eventually I want to hook that up to the MIDI controller, but we'll do that kind of one by one after I get through more of this grunt work. You can see why I don't like doing this. It's just, it feels messy. It's a pain in the ass. I don't remember what's in these projects most of the time. So it's just not particularly enjoyable. If only I could build better tooling for this. Think of something like that for this scene. And then I should have somewhere here a test camera with a mouse, and we're going to want to copy that. And then I'll actually move this over here so you guys can see just a tiny bit of it. I'm not really looking at much more of it myself anyway. This scene has this like reset thing that we're just going to get rid of. I think this reset stuff. And then there's also a bunch of parameters here, like how much the dude should be materialized and their acceleration amount and whether or not the dude is forced. So let's put that into -1 if I remember that from the shader. So now we get the different guys being generated. So a little bit more of that. Why not? I think I have this like specified time thing. We'll just get rid of that because I know I won't do a specified time. So we'll just, their animation time will be based on the normal timer. It actually looks like the lights might be okay now, unless that's just the environment map. We'll have to see. Because in here, I have these color scale things. I'm just going to turn those to 1. Okay, actually, yeah, looks like the lights do work now. So maybe I copied the wrong thing yesterday. That's probably what I did. I think this is the blue light. I want to turn that down. Match the scene more. Okay, this actually looks like it's going better than yesterday, at least. It looks like our depth buffer is super fucked up, though. That's cool. I don't know why that is. But it could be so many things. So many things I might have fucked up. That didn't happen yesterday. Is it fine in like Elysian? Yes. The depth of field is so fucked up in this version of the scene, especially at this low resolution. Did I make sure to rename the G buffer target? I'm sure I did. And did I mean, I'm sure that stuff like the light accumulation buffer and stuff, I think that just is all local, and none of the other demos would have had name collisions. And if it were name collisions that were the issue anyway, the compiler would have freaked out. So I don't know what the issue is here. Maybe I'll get another scene or two working and then we'll see. that's not ideal. It's just strange. I can't think of any demo that would ever change the depth function, so I have no idea why this is like this. Things look to be rendered in the right place, more or less. I got nothing. Anyway, I think somewhere in here, I want to get the camera, some camera parameters here. Like focus, depth, and range. Oh, that comes from something else. That's here. It must be overridden somewhere. Okay, I guess like the depth and the range are kind of scaled per scene here. We'll just copy that and figure out some way to do this. In trashpanda. I want to do this now just so I can see. I should set these here like that. Why didn't that like that? Define var distance. Oh, I have that. Bloop. I don't remember what a good one of these for this scene is, so. Or which knob I had this map to either. Actually, what does it say here? Number 15. Okay, that's definitely this knob. It's 2 minus 1 times 8. Try 20. Does that help? I think we're like 30 units away. So let's do like 30. Turn up the range to like 30. Okay, that's at least more sensible for this scene, it looks like. Again, we get stuff in focus, but just the depth buffer's super fucked up. Why? I guess I can do a couple things here. I'm going to turn down some of these post effects just to make it easier to see. Like this one. Offset, especially the logo mask fade, -1. Really low res too. But that's okay. Really disorienting. Let's see. If I go here, we can do like so our gbuffer target already has the wrong stuff. That sucks. Oh, hi, Alkama. Sorry I didn't say that earlier. Clear depth test. In fact, I don't even know if I have. Maybe I'm just not enabling it. Because I think globally, no, that doesn't touch it. Because stuff that like disables depth testing should enable it again. I'm pretty sure all that stuff is like scoped. But I know I have operators for that. Just gotta remember where they were. And I do not. There we go. Depth test. Oh no, I do turn depth test on right here. Anyway. So maybe depth mask sucks right now? Yo. That would make sense. I hope that didn't bring anything else. Because sometimes it does. Okay, that actually looks great. Good. Whew. And then other scenes should work. Cool. Totally all comma. This stuff is scaled a bit out of control. Gotta love those Matrix references. Ugh. I'm already sick of doing this. But I'm happy it's working. Yeah, I miss you too, Alcama. We'll see each other at revision, though. Won't we? That's not untrue, Alcama. All the hugs are belong to you. Okay, now that this one works, we can start doing some of these other ones. I think specifically what I want to do is remap some of these. I think I decided there were a few IOTA scenes I wanted to drop. Ugh. And I think it was these three. I really like this one, but it's too slow for a live set. Even if I turn my time multiplier all the way up, there's just not enough happening here. I mean, compare it to something like this one, which is a lot better for the kind of music we're gonna play. I still like how this looks. There's something cheap about it, but I just think it's cool. Mad Moose, that's also true. I hope stuff at home gets better for you, Luna. Maybe that sounded too serious when I said it. But I hope things are going well. But yeah, these three I think I'll get rid of. Kind of like this one, but it just is not cool enough for this setup, I think. I don't know, that's actually kind of cool. But no, I decided this last night. We're getting rid of these three. So then I just want to remap these two down here. So I'll do that first. Before I do any of that, though, I think I'm going to commit some stuff. In a way, I'm actually glad I had to do this again just to fix that light problem. Because I don't think I would have found that yesterday. Or today, rather. Anyway, which ones are these? So I want to drop that one, and that one. That's 45, 6, and 7 are the MIDI things for that. These three. So if I do this, that disables them the lazy way. And what I'm going to do is actually just drop these down here. Whoops, copy, paste. Actually, let's not do that yet because I want to map all these sort of downwards. So this is slight shafts and the kick dudes. So 44, 42, 43, 44, 5, 6, 5, 6, and we'll keep those at 50 and 51 because they're like miscellaneous ones. So 44, this will be 45 and 46. And so then in the light shafts scene here, I'm actually going to disable the brain thing and the text scene and the text fuck up scene, which I think is that third one. And so then light shafts is going to be 40. Which one was it again? Surely that one, 45. And then over here, the kick dudes was going to be 46. And there's one for the camera too. Let's go ahead and consolidate that a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I like those together, actually. That's cool. Okay. Now we'll work on map and other stuff. So just what was the next one down the line? Kick dudes and then flow. We'll call it, let's use the same name, I don't care. And then it's gonna be 47. That's this, I guess. Where's the text? I bet it's in here. 1, maybe that's supposed to be 0. I don't know. Oh. The depth of field is all kinds of fucked up on this. That's weird. Done. I'm going to go in and adjust like depth of field values for all this stuff later. I don't care right now. I just want to get all this working more or less. So we'll go with that, and then let's go ahead and hook up the credits one too. $48. And we'll go over here again. And we're going to just remove a lot of this extra stuff here. And I'm going to be cheeky and just copy this camera. I don't know why this isn't showing up. That's not fun. Probably because of this. There we go. Now you can rotate around. That's kind of neat. Let's move a little closer to that. Also, where is it? Max length threshold. I don't know what that was. Now it's all kinds of lines. Okay. And then I'll hook up the grow scene as well while we're here. That's over here. And we'll go ahead and steal this camera again. That's a fun boy. That's a lot of light. And the grow should be lots. Maybe that's 2 lots. Whoops. Welcome back, Pyro. What's this doing? No, we don't need that. Get rid of that. Luna says, meaning to ask, do you have any F15 or tools? All the scene done in Rocket. All the scene is done in Rocket. I prefer to do it by hand. The perfectionism takes over. All those little tiny sinks and everything I add by hand. Except a lot of the stuff that just kind of is reactive to time. But no FFT. Okay, I think most of the scenes are hooked up now. I think now actually is an okay time to just do this. And the tool is just going to be fine with this. It doesn't matter. Nice. Okay, I think I want to hook up some of the post-processing stuff. So I should just be able to copy some parameters from these other ones. For example, exposure, fisheye, desaturate. We'll go ahead and grab the aberration as well. Did I not copy that? Hope I didn't paste it. Looks like we're fine. Really, I just want this expression, so I could just have copied that, but whatever. So now if I do desaturate, that'll work. Glitches, oh, I guess that's in a post process, that's fine. Desaturate works, the mirrors don't work, and aberration works. That should work on all these. And it does. So we'll get the mirror ones as well. I always have these on like different passes because I do, and the logo fade will take as well. Fade also is 7-0. Okay, so now the mirror should work. And of course it's over the text, but that's fine. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this progress. I still want to hook up some of the more, like we have some kind of miscellaneous knobs that I want to hook up to different things here. I want to adjust the focus and stuff too, so that's a little bit easier to use, especially between different scenes. But I feel pretty done with this tonight. And we'll probably do the rest at the party. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Because I want to be done with this tonight. So I guess with that, I don't really have anything else prepared. So I think I'm going to head out. I don't really need this on a branch, though. So we'll do the get things, and then I'll head out. But I also encourage you guys to watch the stream. I know it's going to be streamed. Demobit.party, you'll find all that stuff. I think we play at 11:30 Central European time. I might be wrong about that. Saturday night. So, yeah, hopefully you'll catch that. I don't know if they stream the seminars. That's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Again, I think they're in Central European time, but they might not be, so you want to check that out at the party website. But yeah, Push, delete, origin, demo, bit, live show. But yeah, you guys will want to check that out. And thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time.